Cannot be parading documents within Osun State as at the time when Osun had not been created. So we were able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that those documents were forged, and the tribunal agreed with us, the three of them agreed with us that those documents were forged. Ismail Omipidan is my name. I am the spokesperson to the immediate past governor of Osun, Mr. Adeleke, the man who has just been declared as the winner of the July 16 governorship election that was held in the state. So if we go by the recent judicial pronouncement, it has been established that my principal actually won that election. The election was held on July 16th. Result was declared on July 17th. And by the evening of July 17th, when the result was declared, was when I began to challenge the outcome of the election, especially from the North and South, because I had deployed monitors to the North and South, and with the credible information available to me, I knew for a fact that there were issues as far as the result of that election is concerned. And if you notice, Osogbo, the voters in Osogbo are more in number than those in Ede. By 4 p.m. on the day of election, they had concluded voting. Results were even announced in Osogbo. But in Ede, up to 10:30 p.m., election was still going on. So if not for any outward activity, there was no reason why election should go on up to 10:30 p.m. in Ede. And that was why I stated clearly then that we never lost the election, that my principal only lost the vote count. And from the outcome of the tribunal, we were able to establish overvoting. And that was why they removed the invalid votes from the valid votes. And at the end of the day, they discovered that it was my principal that scored the highest number of lawful valid votes. And that was why the tribunal declared him as the winner of that election. Very confident because from day one, we knew we had a watertight case. We challenged that election on two very strong, solid grounds. One, that as at the time Senator Adeleke was contesting that election, he was not qualified to contest that election. Two was the issue of overvoting, which had just trashed. Now, at the tribunal, the three justices, it's a three-man panel. The three of them agreed that we were able to prove the case of forgery against him, because you cannot be parading documents within Osun State as at the time when Osun had not been created. So we were able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that those documents were forged, and the tribunal agreed with us, the three of them agreed with us that those documents were forged. But they went further to say that because he had acquired additional qualification, they think he was qualified to run for the July 16 governorship election. But as an analyst, my point is, if we believe in the popular saying that you cannot build something on nothing, and if we're able to prove that those documents were forged, part of those documents were his testimonial. And so the basis upon which he acquired those additional qualifications is already faulty. And so if that basis is faulty, then he cannot escape that. In any case, Section 182, subsection J of the Constitution stated it very clearly that if you have ever presented a forged document, it's one of the grounds upon which you can be disqualified from contesting the election. So we are very confident that we will carry the day at the appeal court, because this issue of qualification will feature very prominently, and I don't see how he's going to escape it. I must sympathize with Nigerians for what some very tiny few within the government is making us to go through. Thankfully, our presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has come out forcefully to speak against the anti-people policy of the CBN. Surprisingly, other presidential candidates, especially of the PDP and the Labour Party, are supporting this anti-people policy. I am sure they are doing it for ulterior motive. But if you look at the way Nigerians have been trooping out to support and canvass for support for our presidential candidate, you will agree with me that Nigerians appear to have made up their mind to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He was in Imo yesterday. He was in Osun about a week ago. I'm sure you saw how people trooped out. This was at the period when people were keying up in banks, to get money from ATM, and for them to still leave their own personal endeavor to attend to a presidential candidate, for me, is an indication that despite the anti-people policy, Nigerians have come to realize that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu truly meant well for Nigeria, and they will come out en masse to support him come February 25th, 2023. Inshallah, by the grace of God and with the support of Nigerians, the APC candidate will coast to victory on that day. Nigerians will be very, very vigilant, especially those who are in support of our presidential candidate. If you notice, the PDP presidential candidate has not been campaigning. And if you observe, that was the same strategy they adopted in Osun. In spite of the fact that we knew we had done well as a government, we still campaigned vigorously across all the 30 local government and the area office. But the PDP candidate here didn't do as much. We never knew that they had what they were banking on. But thank God, Beavers has been able to expose what they banked on, because it was through Beavers that we were able to discover the overvoting. And so for me, Beavers is a plus as far as this election is concerned. So I call on Nigerians and especially the electorate to be very, very vigilant. That those who are no longer campaigning perhaps are already strategizing on what they want to do, other than mobilizing people to vote for them. But I know that the God that we worship will not allow them to will not allow their evil plans against Nigeria and Nigerians to come to fruition.